So I'm building a small model of a solar-powered car now. In order to check a lot of the things I'm going to be doing for the larger one, I've tried to cut these out in multiple. So I have 3 sheets of plywood here, and I'm going to cut the curves out together and get 3 sets, and we'll see how that works. So I'm going to drill holes now, put some bolts in to line everything up, and I'm going to draw the shapes and start cutting them. Alright, so I calculated all the points here for my curve, and I drew out the curve here. I have the bottom here where I counted, and then here all the points, the Y points that I graphed. So now I can actually cut this with the saw, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting through all 3 layers at the same time. Alright, and actually for this piece, instead of just drawing the curve, it's the end piece that holds the pipe, because I'm going to start with that because it takes up this space here for the supports. I'll want that one piece so it lines up. The next pieces underneath are just going to be the cutouts. Those are the in-between pieces. They don't hold the pipe. The whole pipe is only held on both ends of the mirror. So there you go, I cut it out and we got the 3 pieces. So this would have taken me probably 3 times longer, maybe even a little more, to set up and everything for all the cuts. So this is how I'm going to do all my pieces, and I'm thinking about doing this for the larger solar car. There's so many little pieces and mirror supports that to cut them out all individually takes so long. Alright, so the ends are cut. These are the supports that hold the pipe. Now these are the middle supports between the 2 pipe supports. So this is what's going to hold the mirror in between those 2. And now I'm cutting that. So it's a much simpler shape. I'm going to use this as a template. After I cut these 3, I'll use the front one as a template, and I'll trace another one underneath. And every time I trace and cut one out, I'm going to get 6 of them. So actually, or sorry, 3 of them. This first 3 is enough. With 2 of those, it makes one of the mirrors, and I have 3 mirrors. Alright, so I cut out the next set of supports there, and I got the nice 3 again, identical supports. Now I'm taking one of them. This is going to be a template, and I'm taking the template from the last time, which is exact spacing of these rods here, and this is the assembly jig. So I'm going to be assembling everything on here to keep it straight. So I'm drilling it through this last piece that I used last time as a template, and then I'm going to have this template. And this template in the back I'm going to use to drill all the holes in these pieces and also in those pieces, so that they'll all be aligned in the same way. Alright, so here are all the curved supports that make up one of the mirrors. So there'll be 3 mirrors. This is enough for 1 mirror. So we have 2 pieces at the end that hold the pipe with the arms here attached to the pipe, and then 3 in the middle without that. So there'll be spacers. These will be about 4 inches apart, and it'll be over 1 foot long. So I'm getting all these curves together now. I've lined them up with the lining holes, have the bolts in on both sides. Now I'm going to sand the surface with a coarse sandpaper to get out all the bumps, just to make sure that these are all identical curves. So then when I put a sheet on here, it's going to be nice and flush, and all the light is going to go to the center to heat up the pipe. So this is definitely going to help with the accuracy of the reflected light. So I just placed this piece here. There's no glue here yet, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have the jig and these pieces, and now I'm all just going to glue between all the joints here. So the mirror support has been sitting overnight, and the glue is all dry. So I just take off these nuts that were used to clamp it in place. There's just one on each side, and then I can pull it out of the mold, and it slides out really easily. You just slide it straight up. In the beginning, sometimes it takes a little bit of work with the screwdriver just to get the first part going. Alright, so this is the last part. It just comes off easily, and that's it. It's a very strong structure. Now we're going to use the longer rods that are over there to join the next section, because now it's too long to be fit on the jig. So now we're just going to, the 3 sections are going to line the rod, and the next section is going to line up because the rods are nice and straight. Alright, so I've been busy gluing these together, and these are all the 3 mirrors. This is the only one that's complete. So there's going to be 3 of these mirrors for the model. It's about 16 inches long, so just over 1 foot long. And it's a very strong structure with this plywood. There's a lot of curve supports for the mirror, so there's not a lot of gap where the mirror can misalign or anything else. So I think it'll be very accurate. I'm anxious to test it. This one here is on the rod stand here. It just needs the last section with the pipe holder, and this piece is just starting with the first section. Those are all the pieces there to go together, and these are the supports and everything else. So yeah, I'm excited to get this together, get the mirror on, and get it tested. So I have the 1/8 plywood sheet, and I'm gluing it to one side of the mirror support frame. Now the mirror will go onto this surface, could be just tin foil or something. This is the mirror for the model. It's 4 feet long and 1 foot across. So I used a jig, and this is going to show me how I can build the full-scale model. This is the first one that's covered now with a thin plywood, and then I'll put the mirror surface on that. And this will be able to test a lot of things that will be used for the